the campus of North Central College. Today's college conference of Illinois-Wisconsin men's lacrosse game features the University of Dubuque Spartans and your North Central College Cardinals. The NCAA, North Central College, and the College Conference of Illinois-Wisconsin promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, spectators, or team representatives, as well as public intoxication and consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages and tobacco products are grounds for removal from the stadium and other disciplinary action. Introducing today's starting lineups. First for the Spartans. Number 0, Michael Django. Number 2, Ben Gallagher. Number 4, Davis Burns. Number 7, Tanner Weiss. Number 11, Rob Benson. Number 24, Joe Fernsall. Number 25, Nick Wallace. Number 28, Colin Perry. Number 99, Diego Rodriguez. And in goal, number 30, Kyle Mullins. Dubuque's head coach is Casey Burst. The assistant coaches for the Spartans are Zachary Howe and Josh Berry Wingate. And now the starting lineup for your North Central College Cardinals. Number 1, Nick Pardo. Number 3, Chris Ivey. Number 5, Sean Tamanardi. Number 6, Stephen Foe. Number 7, Danny Boyle. Number 9, John Fitzgerald. Number 19, Jacob Ray. Number 24, Tanner James. Number 35, Brandon Pearl. And in goal, number 43, Dylan Koss. North Central's assistant coaches are Blake Keenan and Nolan Miller. The head coach of the Cardinals is Jason Farrell. Fans, at this time we ask that you please rise and face the flag at the south end of the field as we honor America with the playing of the national anthem.
And welcome to Benedetti Worley Stadium on the campus of North Central College. Kevin Jackman alongside me, Zach Bucher, as North Central hosts the University of Dubuque. The Spartans enter 7-8. They're 1-4 in conference play. The Cardinals are 5-9. They're 1-3 in the CCIW. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Should be a good matchup. The Cardinals are nearing their season's end, and it's been an up and down second season of existence for this North Central men's lacrosse program. But Jay Farrell trying to right the ship to end the year, and he's got some talented players, a lot of sophomores on this team, most of them starting today. And the key is going to be taking advantage of this matchup today with the team that is almost in kind of similar shoes, Zach.
Yeah, both teams kind of having an up and down season so far, both hovering around 500 for most of the year. Cardinals having a bad stretch earlier in the season of 5 straight losses kind of put a damper on their season early, but what's going to be the key for both teams tonight is trying to find consistency. Obviously, not having that this season so far, so it's going to be up to the players on the field to try and get it going and keep it going.
Last season, the Cardinals were 10-4. They were 2-3 in conference. This year, they've taken a step back, but they've, in a lot of ways, increased the level of competition they've faced. So the numbers may not be nearly where they were a year ago, but certainly the caliber of opponent has increased from a season ago. Opening ground control won by the University of Dubuque, and we are off and running. Like I said, a lot of sophomores, which on this team you could consider veteran members of this lineup. And that includes goalkeeper Dylan Cost, number 43, a Barrington native. We'll see how early and how often he gets tested today. Cardinal defense is going to have to try and tighten up. They've had some difficult games of late. A 16-goal loss to Elmhurst, 16-8 was the final there. They also earlier in conference play lost to Illinois Wesleyan 28-9.
Yeah, if the Cardinals are going to get anything done here today, it's going to be on the defensive end, really trying to set the tone and get themselves going and giving them opportunities on the offensive end.
John Fitzgerald controls the defenseman, able to emerge past midfield and get the ball away from his own net. And the Cardinals will have their first offensive possession of the afternoon. Beautiful day here in Naperville. It's been 60 all day, and the sun, as you can tell, has been shining fiercely down on this stadium turf. Especially in the south end zone, it is real bright.
We'll see if that has any effect on the players, at least for the little while that it may be present.
Goal for Noah Perrell, the 6-foot sophomore, Neuqua Valley alum. Had a Duke and put it in from about 15 yards away. Impressive shot and impressive goal for Perrell. And with that, we're off and running.
Yeah, really good offensive possession. Really didn't try and press too much. And good shot on goal, and it bounced right past Dubuque's goalie. So,
goalkeeper for the Spartans is Kyle Mullins, a 6'2" senior from Colorado. As we're right back to midfield. And the Cardinals take this one. And a shot on goal is just wide, and the Cardinals awarded the ball. Cardinals with a lot of weapons, especially this guy right here, Danny Boyle. Not the biggest guy in the field. In fact, he's only 5'5", but he does a lot of damage. And the shot on net sneaks through for Tanner James. The attacker, the lone junior from last year, able to net the Cardinals' second goal. It's 2-0.
And so far, pretty hot start for the Cardinals, and this is going to be important for them to get out to a good, sizable lead and kind of put themselves in the driver's seat for the rest of the game.
12:59 to go here in the opening quarter, and the Cardinals out in front 2-0. Precisely the kind of start North Central needed.
Yeah, and with both teams coming off a loss in conference, you're really going to look to see who can get off and get on a run early, and so far the Cardinals have shown that they plan to do that if given the opportunity.
Matt Scheinfeld had that one, still bending around, and gives off. Boyle twisting back towards midfield. Perrell with it. He has a goal already. Cardinals very patient here. Shot from Perro, and he scores again. What a shot. And he snipes it bottom corner against Mullins. And it's 3-0 North Central.
Cardinals are showing both sides of the offense being able to be patient and kind of set up a half-field offense. And then the first couple of goals came pretty quickly. So you got to be on your toes now if you're the defense, because these guys, they're scoring in a hurry.
Not even 3 minutes in, and the Cardinals have 3 goals.
And we're pretty used to seeing some pretty quick offense after watching a few of the women's games. They like to score, and they like to score in bunches really quickly.
What was it, 60-plus goals in the 3 games we've seen?
Just about, yeah. At least 20 each time out.
Ground ball up towards the offensive end for NCC, picked up by Nick Pardo. The women have a chance tonight to clinch a spot, not just in the conference tournament, but hosting at least 1 game. It would be a tremendous achievement if they could pull that off. Racing in is Tommy Huizinga. Thrown around. Perro back with it and throws to the top with Jared Weaver. Back to Huizinga, and the shot from James is in the crease, and Mullins able to stop it from crossing that line. Good stop there from the senior goalkeeper. And the pass is ticketed for out of bounds, and the Cardinals will take over around the 30-yard line.
Good job there defensively, jumping on the ball that was kind of bouncing around for Dubuque. Good job to force a turnover there.
Perro with it. Hands off to Huizinga. Back to the top. Huizinga catch and release, and nearly in and out of the net of Mullins. But he makes the snag. Keeps the Cardinals off the board for the moment.
Couple of saves here now from Mullins, perhaps turning the corner now defensively.
He's extended about 20 yards away from the goal right now.
That's extremely dangerous, although didn't backfire on them, but I don't see them potentially taking that risk too many times in this game.
Timeout taken, University of Dubuque. They'll talk it over with 9:47 to play in the opening quarter. And we'll step aside. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Welcome back to NCTV 17. Kevin Jackman alongside Zach Bucher, and it's the University of Dubuque with possession of the lacrosse ball. Here in the opening quarter, we're 5.5 minutes in. North Central has dominated the early goings of this one. Spartans with it on the offensive end. They haven't really tested Dylan Cost yet. To the top it goes, and with it is Joe Fernstall. Fernstall trying to get past Stephen Foe, but can't. Fernstall from a weird angle puts it on Cost and right into his chest. Front with Fitzgerald, and he slings it past midfield to Boyle. Boyle to the middle, and it's intercepted away, and claiming it are the Spartans. That offensive chance quickly evaporated.
Although it was a really good decision to try and push the tempo there. Had the numbers on the offensive end, just unfortunately a bad pass to finish it off.
A wicked, wicked sun right now is just peering over the top of downtown Naperville and into the stadium. You can see the elongated shadows stretching from the top right of your screen all the way to the bottom. A real advantage for North Central, who won the opening coin toss. And a wonderful goal put on and scored. And netting that one is Ben Gallagher, the 6'1" midfielder from North Vancouver, Canada. Eh?
Dubuque goal number 2, Ben Gallagher. Assisted by number 21, Michael Julius.
Julius on the assist. He's a Waubonsie Valley native, or I should say alum. He's an Aurora native. As Aurora strikes for the first time, make that Dubuque. Strikes for the first time.
Both teams blue and white.
Yeah.
Primary colors, so you're not far off.
As they would say, close but no cigar. Couple of collisions and shot between the legs. And now North Central picks up and controls. Scheinfeld has it, loses it momentarily, and picks it right back up. Pair of subs come into the fold. And now it's on the far side. Working around is Peril. Peril to the middle and just shoveled in. Pardo with a tally.
Really good job on the offense right there. Being patient with the ball behind the net, and finding your teammate right in front, and doing a good job on Pardo doing a good job, I should say, of just getting it in there as quickly as possible.
It was a tough angle. Caught it mid-chest and really didn't have anywhere to go with it to kind of charge up.
Yeah, very little room for error there, but he was able to put it in the net, so.
So 2 goals for Peril, 1 for Pardo, 1 for James. And North Central leads 4-1. And a chance to add more, perhaps, on this offensive possession with Jacob Ray handing off to Danny Boyle. Boyle comes around the corner, now slows it up. A little indecisive as to where he wanted to go. And Peril gives way as well. Peril with it as he winds behind the net. Throws it out in front, and another goal. This time it's Tanner James for a second time.
And Mullins not happy on that one. there had to be some sort of miscommunication on defense because he was wide open right in front of the net.
Number 24,
too easy.
Well, what must be frustrating for Mullins is you know that particular play is coming. How often do you see a player fade behind the net and look for somebody who's going to be cutting on the opposite side? And that's exactly what the Cardinals did, and they executed perfectly.
And it was very similar to the most recent play that we just saw, just on the opposite side of the net.
And North Central, again, winning possession off that whistle on the restart.
And that's really been the key so far for them, getting the offense going. As soon as they get a goal, they're right back to it if they're winning the draw control.
5-1, 6 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Noah Perro back on the prowl. Races in, switches hands, and still finds Twine.
And again, I feel like that had to have been some sort of miscommunication defensively because he just drove all the way to the net, got past his defender, and nobody shifted over to even try and help prevent a shot.
No help defense whatsoever. 6-1 now, 5:56 to play in the first. Cardinals might have a huge lead by the time the sun even dips below the horizon.
Which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing if you are the Cardinals.
I would say no. I think I would tend to agree with you on that. Another shot, this one wayward, out of the stick of Ray, and it's awarded to NCC. It's Tanner James who's closest to that one. And the pass is fading and will get out of bounds. It's Dubuque ball. As the ball gets jarred loose, and North Central right there to pick it up. But a penalty on North Central that is delayed and then called.
Yeah, I was going to say, Boyle got away there with a lot of shoving. I know that this sport is very physical, but I don't feel like you have the authority to just shove someone to the ground in any sport.
Stepped out of bounds. That one hurts.
I was going to say, well, maybe outside of hockey, but...
This is true. The gaff made right there by Davis Behrens, a freshman from Wisconsin. Huizinga backs it out, finds Weaver, gets a screen. And Weaver whips one in and pulls it just to the left of the near goal post. Boyle works behind the net, gets it over to Huizinga, wanted the shot and passes it up. Weaver will not, and he rattles the cage. Oh my.
Cardinals just getting a lot of good looks right now.
Number 18,
if you're Dubuque, you kind of have to consider calling another timeout here.
I was thinking the same thing.
Something's not working on defense, and if you're not careful, this game's going to get out of hand real quick.
Four and a half minutes to go in the first. Cardinals lead 7-1. Picked up by NCC, that's Chris Ivy. And the Cardinal gets decked on the play. As Ivy scores, Boyle was the one who went down, and wow, Ivy just went coast to coast.
Yeah, it almost seemed like the defense was kind of concerned with the flag on that penalty. And everyone just kind of stopped, but unless there's a whistle, you keep playing. and Ivy took advantage of it. Uncontested, easy goal.
Exactly 15 seconds after our last goal, we have another restart at midfield. Cardinals are scoring at a blistering pace tonight. This could be a final score in a lot of games, and we're not even at the end of the first quarter.
And like I said earlier, it really has come down to the draw controls, because majority of this first quarter has been all Cardinals. And if you're scoring a goal and you're immediately getting an offensive possession back, it's very hard to really stop the momentum. And forced turnovers like that don't really help.
Huizinga races in, finds a cutter, and backing that out is Pardo. Near side Weaver wants another. That one was blistered.
Yep, just continuing to find lanes to the net, whether it be driving or just shots on goal.
By number 2, Noah Perrell.
I don't know what you do if you're Dubuque here in this situation.
Wave a white flag? Difficult start to this one for that man right there, the goalkeeper, Kyle Mullins. So we make our way back towards midfield. 3:45 to go in the opening quarter, and North Central with the commanding 9-1 lead. And that one won by Rob Benson. Loses it though, still a free agent on the turf. And the Cardinals come away with it, John Fitzgerald.
And that's a situation where the Spartans needed to come away with that. They actually won the draw control, had potential for easy possession, and they just botch it. Fortunately, it doesn't come back to bite them.
Good crowd on hand on this beautiful evening here in Naperville. Good contingency of Card fans sitting on the home side bleachers. It'd be really hard to sit on the away side bleachers right now. Yeah, there are none. It's track and field season. Those are some of the jumping pits over that way. Hey, the Cardinal men's track and field team is currently ranked #1 in the nation. Surprise, surprise.
I don't follow them as closely as you probably do, but from the stories that you have mentioned over the last couple of years about that track and field team, they're pretty good.
You know, they're right there. You know, they're in the conversation to win nationals every year. It's impressive. That program led by Frank Grammaroso and, of course, the legendary Al Carius. Combined, I believe they have as much tenure as about half the existence of this school. And this school is, I think, at about 160 years. Al Carius celebrated his 50th 2 years ago, so that's 52. And I think Grammy was maybe 10 or 15 years behind him, so maybe 80-something years combined. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. And it sounds like they know what they're doing over there.
Either that or they just have the most luck of any individuals I've ever met in my life.
Although with that much tenure behind you, it really does probably say something a lot, or say a lot about who you are as people, and that can really help in recruiting.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard a bad word said about either one of those people. Ground ball.
If you're able to continually recruit top talent to this school each and every year, of course you're going to have a great program that's in national championship talks each and every season.
You know, it's so fun to juxtapose the programs that have just started. Men's lacrosse, men's volleyball, women's bowling, women's triathlon, and how they're trying to build that culture. And then you look at a program like the North Central cross country team, which has won 20-something national titles. I can't remember the exact figure. But they, you know, alongside the track and field team, own a majority of the 34 that North Central has as a school. And they're kind of the exemplary program in a lot of these coaches' minds when they look at their own and try and construct something. It's powerful to have.
Absolutely, because you, as you said, you have that culture that's been built over years and years, and then you have other programs that are coming up and they see all of this and they want to do it the right way, which is what they see up in the banners and all of the national championships that cross country, track and field may have brought to the school. So it inspires a lot throughout the rest of the athletic program.
Timeout, North Central.
Timeout taken by North Central. Jay Farrell wants to gather the troops, and we'll gather our thoughts, and we'll be back. 1:11 remaining in the opening quarter. 9-1 the score. North Central on top. Join us when we're back on NCTV 17. Welcome back to beautiful Benedetti Worley Stadium on the campus of North Central College. Kevin Jackman, Zach Bucher here on the call on Naperville Community Television, Channel 17, or whatever channel it happens to be on your cable box. Odds are it probably is no longer 17. But we are online, and you can find us at nctv17.com. It's probably the best bet. Out the back of the end zone, and hold on, a whistle. No, they're going to keep playing, continuing. And North Central controls. Gavin Foote with it. To the middle, and the shot blocked by Mullins, and then shot backwards. An accident by a Spartan. 15 ticks remaining. A lot of contact made. And now Foote goes to work. And it's snagged by Mullins. Lofts it ahead. 3, 2, 1, and end of the quarter. First 15 in the book, and North Central leads 9-1. We'll be back for the second. Join us on the other side. We'll be back on NCTV 17. Fresh 15 up on the clock here in the second quarter. North Central with a slim 9-1 margin. Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackman, Zach Bucher here on NCTV 17. Thanks for joining us tonight. The teams have flipped sides. And boy, Zach, this North Central team has looked crisp on the offensive end so far.
Yeah, they've done a really good job just being patient on the offensive end and attacking quickly when they have the opportunity and the numbers. And it's really paid off for them, getting some really good looks and really capitalizing on them.
They control again in the offensive zone. Huizinga with it. Throws it back up top. And Pardo trying to find room, can't. Gives off to Weaver. Weaver out in front and had a man open for a moment. That was Tanner James. Over to Boyle. Boyle bends around the back of the net. Now Pardo accelerates and bounces it past the goalkeeper. No, it was deflected. And in front of the net it went. Picked up by Ethan Sensak.
And that's just another perfect example of how the offenses ran so far for the Cardinals. They've done a really good job getting some open looks and not really pressing themselves too hard on the offensive end. Although when you have an 8-goal lead, it's kind of easy not to press offensively.
Michael Julius was the one who brought it up, the Waubonsie Valley alum. 2 minutes have gone by here in the second quarter. Nobody has scored. Spinning around is Tanner Weiss. To the top with Fernstall. Julius shadowed by a Cardinal defenseman. Knocked away for the moment. Still loose. Cardinals sniffing blood and they attacked. Suffocating defense right now.
Yeah, and that's really what's gotten them out to this 9-1 lead. They've done an incredible job of retaining most of the possession of the ball offensively and then really doing a suffocating job on defense.
Penalty flags fly. And North Central nearly had it inside midfield, and now play will stop and some players will be sent off and into the penalty box they go.
Yeah, both referees had their flags flying a few seconds ago on that initial play, and then a couple seconds later the near side ref threw another one. So there had to have been a few infractions there.
Right now, Ben Gallagher is the lone Spartan standing in the penalty box as that near side official picks up his 2 penalty markers. .12:03 to go. And we've got some refuge from the sun. Finally dipped behind downtown Naperville, Hotel Indigo. That just became part of the downtown landscape. There it is. Play is picked back up, and Weaver has it out in front. Over to Pardo, near side James. James snipes the top shelf. Boy, there was a small sliver of a space past the right ear hole of Mullins, and James found it.
And that's just been how this game has gone through the first 19 minutes or so of the game. And the ball's just rolling in favor of the Cardinals right now. Not a lot of resistance from the Spartans. So it'll be interesting to see how they can bounce back, if at all.
10-1 North Central, second quarter. Dubuque coming off a 10-3 loss to Carthage. They beat Carroll. And Carroll is only 2-10 in conference. Before that, they lost to Elmhurst 20-2. And Augustana 9-6.
Carroll actually the lone team that both these teams have beaten in conference so far.
North Central beat them 24-2. And that's the only conference win for both these teams, yeah. 11 to go here in the first. And snagged by Cost. Off the rocket from Fernstall. What a grab.
Good to see he's still aware there behind the, or in front of the net. Hasn't had much action tonight.
Another penalty marker flies, and North Central whizzes into the zone. Dumps it off, and Boyle fighting to keep it alive for the moment. It's picked up by Boyle. Puts his man through the spin cycle. Weaver clears space, dishes off. And a whistle blows, and I believe a Spartan will head to the sideline. In fact, that is the case. And coming off the field is Tanner Weiss, who's a freshman from Colorado. Cardinals get it. Pardo had to wait and hold up for that ball to reach him. Now gets it back and didn't realize he lost it again.
Fortunately, no defender coming out that far to stop him.
James, what a pass, just couldn't convert on the other end. And North Central gets it back, but I thought James shot that ball, but it was a pass right across the face mask of Mullins.
Yeah, it was a good find. Just unfortunately, maybe a little too difficult of an angle for a shot. Otherwise, that was a great look for the Cardinals.
Peril wanted to enter the lane, can't. The shot high and blocked. And picked up by Aurora. Oh my goodness, Dubuque. I say it once and then I can't stop saying it as Fitzgerald picks it up. Remember, North Central was offsides, so Dubuque will get it back. And another offsides? What is going on here? And we'll get a restart, I guess, on the 10-yard line. Off the pipe. I think Koss got a piece of it first, but it ricochets off the pipe and Dubuque back with it. And there's a goal from Ben Gallagher. The Canadian midfielder gets a tally, and Dubuque on the board for a second time tonight.
Ben Gallagher.
And if you're the Spartans, it's been a long while since you have scored, so you got to feel pretty good about that. You got a penalty and the man advantage, and you capitalized on it. Now it's going to be up to them to continue if they want to try and get back in this game.
10-2, 8:39 to go. Popped up and still loose, and now North Central has it, and it'll belong to Dubuque. With it is Rob Benson. Cardinals doubling. They almost tripled for a second there, and fighting through contact right now is Tanner Weiss. 8 minutes to play in the half. And a penalty marker on the Cardinals. Cost snares it. And coming off the field should be Brandon Pearl. And he'll head to the penalty box.
Can't be too happy if you're Coach Farrell. The last couple of offensive possessions for Dubuque have resulted in a couple of penalties for the Cardinals, and if they don't right themselves pretty quickly, you'll find Dubuque right back in this game.
With it is Gallagher. Hands off, and now controlled by Julius at the top. Gets it right back, in fact. Now he's playing catch. Behind the net it goes. Shuffled around. Ground ball shot, covered up by Cost in front of the crease, still loose. And it'll be awarded to Cost. And NCC just blistering past everybody. That was Stephen Foe. And he still has it. Six and a half to go here in the second quarter. On a gorgeous night here on the campus of North Central College. Huizinga to the front of the net, and it's off target. Shot wayward as well. Cardinals don't seem to have that same aggressive nature on the offensive end they showed in the first quarter.
No, it seems like they've kind of taken a back seat here in the second quarter. Well, up until that moment right there. But yeah, they've just been on cruise control. But it's nice to see them get right back into the scoring column.
Tanner James.
Tanner James can be counted on for that time and time again, and he scores there once more. James is the team leader in goals with now 35 on the season. Pardo behind him with 25, Weaver with 21, Pero with 19. Those are also, with the exception of Tommy Huizinga, who has... I take that back. Those are your top four scores. Huizinga behind them with 26. .555 remaining here in the second quarter. Under the lights at Benedetti Worley Stadium. And do we have a timeout?
I believe there was a penalty on the face-off.
Oh, I missed that. I was looking down at the stat sheet and you missed what's happening right in front of you.
All you need to know is that the Spartans are going to have control here.
Bad news coming from Bloomington, Illinois, as North. Oh, what? Hold on a second. What is going on? Another penalty marker just flew in. Looks like the Cardinals will be down a man.
Well, they were already down a man off the face-off, but it looks like now it's down 2.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what is happening down there on the field.
Let me finish my thought real quick. Illinois Wesleyan is leading the women's lacrosse team 9-2 in a matchup of 2 of the top teams in conference. We'll keep an eye on that one. It's near the half. Under 6 to play, and in essence a power play, if you want to steal a term from hockey, on tap here for Dubuque. And another penalty flies. Blocked. North Central struggling to gain control. Pearl fighting for it. There's a lot of whacking going on. Big fight happening there at the 30-yard line. Punches were thrown, and players had to be separated.
A lot of contact in that little fracas there in the middle of the field. Gets real chippy down there when you're trying to fight for control of the ball.
There are numerous penalty markers down. There is an official's hat that has flown. Pearl is already on the bench. Right there. He's going to settle down for the moment. And perhaps the rest of the game. I'm not quite sure at this moment. But yeah, there was a lot going on in that scrum.
I'm pretty sure Pearl, the initial flag was on him. So at that point, he was kind of just going as hard as he possibly could to try and get possession.
Essentially house money. He couldn't get, well, he couldn't have assumed a second.
Right. He knew he was already going to be coming off the field. So he got his money's worth, but unfortunately, maybe just a little too much. So now, I think North Central is going to be down to 2 defenders outside of the goalie after it's all said and done. Nope, looks like 3. But it also looks like Dubuque is going to be down a player as well.
They are. Pearl's already headed off the field.
Pretty much meaning he's done for today.
I would assume so.
Tends to happen when you throw punches.
Yeah, that's what happens. He's exiting the ballpark. Officials have sorted this out, it appears. And we should be good to go. Maybe not. They're still sorting out numbers, I think.
And after what took place, I don't blame them for trying to get it right.
To quote one of my favorite movies, that escalated quickly.
That it did.
No pitchforks, though. That's some good news.
Yes.
So as far as that comparison will go. Name that movie.
That would be Anchorman, if I do remember correctly.
Did Koss just save that? Or was it off of him? I think it was off of him.
It might have gone off of him. I didn't hear a ping of a post, so.
Big uproar. The Cardinals were offsides, and they get a penalty marker because of it. And then the player who was offsides, who I believe was Gavin Foote, got back onsides, which at that point, you might as well just go back offsides.
As you may have heard from a fan telling him to stay offsides.
You're already offsides. Get in there. And that must have been off the side of the goal, and Cost covers it up. And Dubuque will probably have another possession here. 4:09 to go here in the first half, and I think the Cardinals will be happy to see halftime get reached.
Yeah, fortunately for them, the game really hasn't gotten out of hand score-wise. They still hold an 11-2 lead, but a lot of penalties over the last couple minutes. And it's surprising that Dubuque has not capitalized on it so far.
Still an 11-2 score. A lot of extracurricular activities right now as the sun has almost completely set on Naperville. Temperature is dropping, but somehow the tempers have seemed to be escalating, elevating, reaching a boiling point here in the first half.
Both these teams really want to try and get a win here today after losing their last game. So just really shows the heart from both these teams really trying to get a W.
Cost blocks it. Cardinals take it away. And no penalty markers will give it back to Dubuque this time around.
And a sigh of relief from the Cardinals.
And Fitzgerald carries it in. Boyle racing around. Boyle avoiding the double team. We're under 3 minutes to play in the half. And a pass lofted out in front. And a shot on net is wayward and out of play. Cardinals awarded it. That was Weaver on the shot attempt.
And I didn't notice until just now, the Cardinals are still down a player, so that would be the reason for the many double teams so far during their offensive possession.
You can afford to make that gamble.
But Cardinals have done a pretty good job of avoiding them and keeping possession.
Huizinga with it and stuck at midfield. And he went past. And it's a turnover given back to Dubuque.
Man down! Man down!
Cardinals, in essence, back to full strength.
You got to be pretty happy if you're the Cardinals. You spent probably the last 3 or 4 minutes at least a single man down and no goal scored.
And neither team could really get anything going. Minute and a half to go here in the first half. Big hit there, clean though. Nice defensive play from Andrew Wagner. And the penalty flies, I believe, on Noah Perrell. And a timeout taken. Minute 8 to go. We'll take one too. We'll be right back.
Timeout.
We have 68 seconds remaining. Until we hit the half. Cardinals with possession here.
1 minute remaining in the half.
And James scores with 57 ticks remaining. 12-2 the score.
Just how they drew it up out of the timeout.
Assisted by number
Perfect
1,
setup,
Nick
and that's the mark of a good
Pardo.
coach. If you have something up your sleeve like that, great time to utilize it. Hit the half with some momentum.
Especially after the crazy last few minutes that the Cardinals have had defensively. They hadn't really had much offensive opportunities, and they capitalize on the one of them that they've gotten since then.
Keep it up, Ray.
And the face-off will be given to the Cardinals. Baseball team taking a couple of wins today as they've reemerged in the top 30 rankings. The long, successful run of late. They dropped a game to Aurora, but that was a non-conference matchup. They won a whole bunch in a row in the CCW. Last time they lost was to Illinois Wesleyan.
Good job, good job.
Gotta get a shot off.
And with the shot clock winding down, we're at the half. And the Cardinals will hit the break on top 12-2. We'll step aside a 10-minute timeout, and we'll be back on the other side on NCTV 17. Welcome back to NCTV 17. Just about set for the second half, and away we go. Off and running. The Cardinals really putting it on the Spartans in that first half, compiling a 12-2 lead. Really impressive display of offensive talent from North Central. And Dubuque really had no answer, Zach.
Yeah, they didn't. They really struggled for the entire first quarter and a majority of the second quarter. Kind of had the momentum shifting towards them in the last few minutes of the second quarter. A lot of penalties and a lot of man advantages for the Spartans. But they just couldn't capitalize. And if you're going to get all those man advantages, you really need to capitalize and score some goals. So now they find themselves even further down.
Julia's with it out in front. And a very patient first possession for the Spartans. Davis Burns with it, goes across the way and finds Fernstall. Shot on goal is erased by Cost and snagged up by Kendall Reed. North Central possesses, and a nice move there by Reed. Stephen Foe with it, as the Cardinals get their first opportunity to try and get back up on the board and get past Mullins in net. Kyle Mullins with a difficult first half, but I think more so than his performance in the net was just the ability for the Cardinals to get near and kind of buzz around his cage.
Yeah, and another thing is we saw a couple of times was Mullen get pretty upset with his defense. A couple of miscommunications led to some easy goals for the Cardinals.
Huizinga with it. High steps and now steps into the lane and backs it back out. Peril scored the first 2 goals, and he gets it back right here. Has been quiet since, and not quiet anymore. 13-2 North Central.
Cardinal goal number 2, Noah.
Well, if you were the Spartans, you would have liked to see some success out of halftime, maybe some adjustments, but more of the same here in the first few minutes of the second half.
12:26 to go, third quarter, and our first score here in the second half. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Kevin Jackman, Zach Bucher here on the call. What a gorgeous day in Naperville, and it's turned out to be a pretty night as well. The sun is nearly completely faded from the nighttime sky as downtown Naperville lights up. So does Benedetti Worley Stadium as the lights have taken full effect of our turf playing surface this evening. Penalty flags fly. And the Cardinals have some of their members sent off the field.
Seems like that penalty was on Ivy, and he'll take a few minutes in the penalty box.
Cardinals scrambling to get enough numbers in on the defensive end. And they're going to be playing a man down on that side.
Probably trying to get their best defensive lineup out there. If you're down a man, you really don't want to give up anything easy, which they did a really good job of with all that craziness towards the end of the first half.
Shot is off the side of the net and given to the Spartans. Shot is wide, and claiming it is the Spartans again, even though there was some tremendous effort there on behalf of Sean Tamanari.
And the fans certainly don't agree with the call either.
Shot on net is good for Django. Finds the chains, and it's 13-3.
Spartan goal, number 0, Michael Django. Assisted by number 2,
Perhaps
Ben Gallagher.
some life here for the Spartans, getting on the board pretty quickly here in the second half. But now they're going to have to start and string some goals together. Otherwise, this game is firmly in the grasp of the Cardinals and their game to lose at this point.
Scrum at midfield for possession. And it looks like it'll belong to the Spartans, who could go on a 2-0 run. Spartans working it. Around and around they go. Been a very patient group here in the second half.
And that's what you really have to do if you're the Spartans at this point. You really have to be methodical on the offensive end. You have to make sure that you score each and every time down.
Tamanari able to take that one away after a block out in front of Cost. Now Fitzgerald lofts it ahead. Beautiful dime as he connects with Scheinfeld. The Cardinals set up a half-court set. Can you still call it a half-court set even though you're on a field? It kind of feels appropriate, doesn't it?
It does feel appropriate, and earlier in the game I called a half-field set and it just didn't feel right.
Yeah. Across the way, beautiful pass, and Weaver's shot is errant. A little too tall. Perfect setup, though. Weaver wanted it right back, though. Now he'll have a chance. Harrell, and his shot is off the top of the stick from Mullins and out of play. So 2 shots that have gone just high of that top crossbar. Cards continue to work.
Yes, and they are continuing to be aggressive on the offensive end. They are not satisfied with only 10-goal lead at this point.
Weaver, and another shot wayward out of the stick of Boyle. So 3 on this possession. The Cardinals continue to be aggressive with 8:43 to play here in the third, which has been a quick-moving third quarter. Oh, what a move. Ooh. Just a little too close to that near side pipe.
Yeah, it was a great move, and if it wasn't as close to the net, I think he would have had a little bit of a door or a window of opportunity to get that in, but just a little too close to the net.
Peril to the middle. Shots on net. Good. Boy, that's ironic, isn't it? The Cardinals spend so much time setting up each and every one of those 4 plays before. You have 4 shots that go just wide, just high, just too low. And then you bring it in and quick shot on net, and it's good.
And that's really what's been working for him the entire game. Just nice, quick, hard shots. And some of them have come off of plays, but I guess when it's working, don't try and fix it.
I think the Cardinals agree. Still loose and getting shoveled towards the Dubuque side of the field. Chris Ivey was battling for it. Huizinga off the right side. Picked up by Pardo. And Huizinga lost it for the moment. And it's given off to Dubuque. Midway through the third. 14-3 after hitting the break with a 12-2 score. Pass was very high. Cardinals claim and get it across midfield. Fast break opportunity. Contact made. Shot on net. Just pulled. To Boyle behind the net, comes across off the top of the helmet of Mullins. Weaver Deeks fires, and it's wide again. Boyle to the front, his pass miscalculated. And North Central still somehow comes away with it. It's Weaver. To the top, and it's lost by Peril. And finally picked up by Mullins. An exciting exchange there.
Yeah, a lot of contact, a lot of the ball just bouncing around, trying to gain possession. Unfortunately for the Cardinals, they just couldn't get that one pass that really would have opened up the offense for them. Had an opportunity, but just a little off.
Launch downfield, Pardo, quick pass ahead. James comes around the bend and gets funneled out.
Get hard! Get hard! Get up! Get up! Still backside on the chain!
Boyle pass out in front. James's shot off target.
Not talking, let's go! Right side! On me, it's on me! Hold right, down, left,
Foot, bounce, and snagged. Not enough pace on that one. Great defensive play. Stephen Dale. And out of bounds it goes. Cardinals take over. That was a sneaky play.
It was, and it did a good job of trying to block the stick in front and immediately went to the back in case of a shot, and that was the case there. And great defensive play.
One of the first guys to commit to the program, and Jay Farrell. Hails from the, I thought he hailed from the East Coast. He does, Connecticut. Nice snag from Pardo, but his shot just too tall for the net. Big hit, ball jarred loose. And a penalty on Dubuque. Coming off the field is Ethan Sensak, and perhaps a little excessive.
Just maybe a little bit.
Just a tad.
Top right. Top right, 50, 50, 50. Top right. Back. Good job, good.
Checking in on the women's team as James finds the back of the net again. 15-3, North Central with 3:33 to go in the third.
Goal, number 24,
should I say it like Pat Foley? Tree in the third.
Nick Pardo.
But checking back into the women's team, they're trailing in Bloomington, Illinois against Illinois Wesleyan 12-3 with 14 minutes to play in the second half. So barring the most miraculous comeback in program history, if not all of Division III lacrosse, Cardinals will suffer their first conference loss of the season.
And we both talked about that particular game and then the next one against Carroll coming up. They were going to be big games, you know, going on the road, trying to take on two of the conference's top teams and come away with W's was not going to be an easy task.
They found that out tonight, but they have some time to figure out adjustments and what have you for the conference tournament, which will be coming up, and they'll be in it. The only thing to be determined is who's going to host those semifinal games. It's kind of the order that things will be shuffled out into.
Let's go, Ivy, 75.
Ball lost and nearly out of bounds, and it goes out of bounds. Should be Cardinal ball. Yes, sir. Cardinals have been really heads up on defense tonight.
Yeah, they've done a really good job just making sure that they stay aware on the defensive end, and their defense has really led into their offense extremely well tonight, as seen by the 15-3 lead.
Weaver with it. Fakes the pass, still cradling, and knocks it through. Does the goal count? I'm not sure the goal counts.
North Central goal, number 18, Jared Weaver.
Goal counts.
As if on cue.
Well, then the scoreboard is behind because there should be 16. There it is. Ask and you shall receive. There you go. 16-3, 2:06 to go in the third. I thought perhaps that penalty somehow, some way was on Weaver, and they would have disallowed the goal, but that was not the case. James tic-tac-toe, but leaves it high.
Yeah, lots of good passing over the last few offensive possessions for the Cardinals have really opened up some more opportunities for them.
Take two, same spot, different player, different result. Tommy Huizinga with the 17th goal. Losing track.
Goal, number 12,
and Huizinga did a really good job. He recognized he had enough time, faked high, and went around Mullins for a spectacular goal.
Really a headsy play. $1:44 to go in the third. And again, it's North Central winning possession upon the restart. Still a whole nother quarter to play. And a whistle on North Central.
Still another quarter to play, and doesn't seem like North Central showing any signs of stopping.
Not at all. The pass is wide and well off target. Cardinal ball. Under a minute to go here in the third. Foot trying to put on some moves. Can't get past his man.
Hey, sweep lefty for Noah. Sweep lefty. 34. 30 seconds. So card.
30 seconds remaining. And the shot is wide and in the crease and claimed by Mullins. Taken away by North Central, one-on-one. That's not going to end up very well for the goalkeeper 9 times out of 10. Cardinals need just one, and it's Peril.
Noah Peril.
Yeah, not a good decision there by Mullins. Probably should have held onto the ball a little longer. That's what happens.
Yep.
Trying to do too much.
You get careless. You only had half a minute to go. You could have either wasted that or pushed it way downfield. But not the right decision that time around. Off the post, 7 seconds remaining. Long shot snagged by Mullins, but a flag. And with a second on the clock, Cardinals should get the ball in the restart. So how do they sort this out?
Well,
now Weaver's coming off too. He just got a flag. Unless it said a magic word or two.
That's what I'm guessing.
All this transpiring with 1 second remaining in the third. Can we admit and just face the fact that no one's going to score at this point? Can we just go to the fourth?
Especially now that it seems that the ball is going to be advanced to midfield and it's going to be Dubuque ball.
Why make a move? And he doesn't. Julius will hold on, and we'll go to the fourth. 18-3, North Central with the lead. We'll go to the fourth and be back on NCTV 17. back for the fourth quarter, fourth stanza, fourth chapter in this story tonight. And the story is written already, I believe, and it's going to end up with a capital W for the North Central Cardinals. But how will we reach those final pages? Right now it's 18-3. We've hit the fourth, and Dubuque has changed their goalie. Into the game is number 47, Sam Kopecki, a 5'11", 300-pound junior from Sussex, Wisconsin.
Perhaps the change that Dubuque needed. You never know. Highly unlikely, but as if on cue.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Noah Perrell scores to open up a quarter for the third time tonight.
Noah Perrell.
I believe that's his fourth goal of the night as well. You can go back and check this. I take that back. 6. He's got 6. Scratch that again. 7. Just updated. 3 for Jared Weaver. 6 for Tanner James. Single tallies for Pardo, Ivy, Huizinga. Meanwhile, Dylan Costin net has been very good. 10 saves, 3 goals against. That equates to a .769 save percentage.
Although it feels like he hasn't had many shots on goal to begin with, but given that he has 10 saves, he's at least faced his fair share.
Up top with Pardo. Thirteen to go. North Central patiently working it around the horn. To the top with Foot. And Dubuque takes it away.
Princeton, go, go, go! Princeton, back it in, Princeton! Back it in!
Again, Dubuque is really just kind of waiting this out and trying to find a fault.
And in the third quarter, I could have at least understood that, trying to get back into this game. But now with just under 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, you got to start scoring and scoring in a hurry if you want to try and make a miraculous comeback.
11.5 minutes to go, and Cardinals take it away.
Not away, Kendall. Stay on the hips.
Teammates barking out instructions for Kendall Reed. You can hear it. Stay on his hips. Pretty interesting.
Nemo! Go, here's Nemo! Hey, Kelly. Watch it, Kendall. Okay, take off. Nemo! Go, Mike.
That's
that's where good defense starts, though, is with a lot of communication, even when nothing is going on. Making sure you know that your teammate, or making sure your teammates know where they need to be and what they need to be doing.
Hey, no, stop! We're not in it! Don't go!
Penalty marker has flown, and this is, I believe, on North Central. Fitzgerald, perhaps? Waiting for the restart. Cardinals really aren't bending, and Cost snags that one for save number 11. And the ball's already all the way down the field. Just off the tip of James's stick. Now he curves around. They'll try and find their way in. They've done a good job at finding the cutters in this game. A lot of that has been operating from behind the net, though.
Yeah, a lot of good movement in front of the net while the ball has been behind the net. And they've been able to get some really good looks very close in front.
Slung out of bounds, but the Cardinals closest to it. Boyle operating, and that one's wide. And the goalie, I'm blanking on the name right now. The backup would be Kopecky, was able to claim that ball. 8:52 remaining in this game. Oh no, it was North Central apparently.
I thought it was going to be Dubuque ball as well.
Yeah, initially they signaled for that to be the case. Again, out of bounds, and Cardinals get it. Foot shuffling around. (19-3), North Central with the lead. 8:10 to go here in the fourth, and the pass is errant. Good battle for it. And it's a whistle. Cardinal ball. Perro has it. Coming around his foot. A final, soon to be final, out in, or at Illinois Wesleyan. 14-4, minute 19 to go. Out the back of the end zone, Tanner James has it. To the top with Perro. Cardinals seem pretty content with allowing the clock to drip away.
At this point, you're up 16 goals. I don't know if there's too much else that you can do or need to do on the offensive end.
Or prove.
That too. It seems at this point you can really try and run your offense and perhaps work on some things that you don't normally do.
Shot is wide and collision out there. On the shot attempt was Jacob Ray. Ray is one of 2 California natives on this team. The other is Sean Tominari. And that game down in Bloomington has gone final. The Titans have taken down the Cardinals by a 14-4 score. And now Dubuque has it with 5.5 to go in this 4th quarter. Dubuque trying to direct traffic. That's Tanner Weiss. Cardinals making a couple of substitutions. Foot coming back into the game. Nice. Take that back. That is Kendall Reed, number 27, not 17. And the pass is out of bounds. The last touch by North Central with 4:25 to go. Taken away by North Central, but a foul on the Cardinals. One more regular season game on tap for both the men's and women's lacrosse teams. The women will be on the road on Saturday against Carroll. The men will host Carthage. That's a 1 o'clock start. And we will have that right here on NCTV 17. Should be an interesting matchup with Carthage ahead of the Cardinals in the standings. And perhaps there is still an opportunity for North Central to sneak into the conference tournament.
Seems like they would possibly need Carthage to lose.
Maybe well, they're playing Carroll tonight, and I'm guessing, I'm not a psychic or anything, but I'm guessing they won.
If that is the case, that Carthage is victorious.
Apparently that game is on right now. There are no live stats, but there is a live stream. Let's see if they have a scoreboard up. 2.5 to go here. Carroll is hosting this game, by the way.
Because if Carthage is victorious in that game, that puts them at
3-2.
3-2.
Cardinals will be 2-3.
And a victory over Carthage would give them the tiebreaker, I would assume.
Yeah.
So yes, Cardinals could squeak in if they can beat Carthage in the last home game of the season.
Goal for
number 24, Tanner James.
Yeah.
Scoring goal, number 24, Joe Fernstall.
Fernstall with the goal for Dubuque. Daniel Spike-Panicia, who is on the national winning 4x4 relay team for the North Central men's track and field team, is the PA announcer tonight, and he said Tanner James with the goal. I think that's just out of habit.
Especially tonight.
I would say so. It was a fun moment. The live stream doesn't seem to want to work. So we will not know the conclusion of this contest tonight.
Needless to say, though, it's looking like North Central is going to have to beat Carthage on Saturday in order to squeak their way into the tournament.
I agree. Which will make that an extremely interesting affair. That went wide and out of play with 1:49 to go. I think it's safe to assume that Carthage won that game. So Saturday's going to set up an interesting showdown. I've been trying to play investigator here on social media and find some posts, but
unfortunately, none to be seen.
No, not right now. The game could still be going on. But I would recommend, if I were you, and I'm not you, but I would recommend to tune into that game, because it should be a good one.
We got a couple of teams pretty much vying for a spot in the tournament at that point. Carthage coming in knowing that they have to win in order to get in, and same with the Cardinals. Win and you're in.
One minute remaining.
Minute remaining in this contest as we draw to a close here tonight. 19-4, North Central with the lead, and I believe that'll be the final score as well. So the Cardinals, after some tough losses to begin the conference season, have bounced back with a dominant win over Dubuque. And they could close out the season with back-to-back wins, and that'll be dependent on, you know, how they show up against the Redmen on Saturday. What do they have to bring?
Exactly what they brought here tonight. Everything that they've done here tonight, outside of the, what was it, maybe 4 or 5 minute stretch to end the first half, they've been extremely good on the defensive end, extremely efficient on the offensive end, being able to find cutters and run good plays and get good shot opportunities. And then Cost was really good in goal, having 10+ saves. So both sides of the ball did really, really well tonight, and that's really what it's going to take.
We'll find out if that's enough when Carthage comes to town on Saturday. We hope you join us for that. Cardinals behind big scoring games from Noah Perrell and Stephen James take down the University of Dubuque. The Spartans fall to the Cardinals 19-4. North Central now improves to 6-9. They're 2-3 in conference play, and they have a chance to finish in a tie with Carthage on Saturday at 3-3. And from there, it's anybody's guess as to who gets the tiebreaker. What is the tiebreaker? We can find that out as well. So, for our entire production team tonight, Gabriel McDonough, Dave Sappinen, Zach Bucher, and myself, Kevin Jackman, I'm saying so long from Benedetti Worldly Stadium. We'll see you in a couple of days for our final regular season affair, North Central versus Carthage on NCTV 17.